The break came on a Tuesday. I was at my desk, staring at the same files I'd been staring at for days when Ray's knocked on the doorframe. "Detective Hartley? Got someone at the front who wants to talk, says he has information about the Collins murder." "Who?" "Guy named Tommy Whitmore, works at the fish market." I looked at Burke. He shrugged. "Send him in." Tommy Whitmore was in his 60s, weathered face, hands rough from decades of scaling fish. He sat across from us in the interview room, twisting his cap between his fingers. "I should have come in sooner," he said. I wasn't sure if it mattered." "Tell us what you saw," Burke said. "It was about a week before that woman died. The tech one. I was closing up the market, must have been around 9 o'clock. Tommy took a breath. "I saw her in the parking lot behind the cannery. She was talking to someone." "Who?" "Danny Vance." The name hit like a cold splash. Danny Vance was known around Ravenshore, known and avoided. He lived in the slum housing near the harbor, had a record for petty theft and assault, spent more time drinking than working. The kind of guy mothers warned their kids about. "Are you sure it was him?" I asked. "Positive. I've seen Danny 100 times, we all have." Tommy shook his head. "They were arguing about something, I couldn't hear what, but Danny was in her face, pointing his finger, looking mean. She looked scared." "Did it get physical?" "Not that I saw. She walked away after a minute, got in her car and left. Danny stood there watching her go." Tommy paused. "I didn't think much of it at the time. Danny argues with everybody, but when I heard she was dead." Burke and I exchanged a look. "Why didn't you come forward sooner?" Burke asked. "I don't know, didn't want to get involved, I guess. Danny's got friends, rough people. I figured someone else would say something." Tommy looked down at his hands. "But nobody did, and that woman's still dead, so here I am." We took his statement, got his contact information, and let him go. As soon as the door closed behind him, Burke was on his feet. "Danny Vance, I know him. Petty shit, stolen property, bar fights, that kind of thing. Never violent like this, but he's capable. Everyone's capable, given the right circumstances." We pulled Danny Vance's record. It was long, a decade of minor charges, a few months in county jail, nothing that suggested murder, but there were gaps. Times when he dropped off the radar, stopped getting arrested, stopped showing up in the usual places. "What was he doing during those periods?" I asked. "Could be anything. Laying low, working odd jobs, who knows?" Burke tapped the file. "But it's worth asking." We went to Danny's place, a rundown house near the harbor that looked like it hadn't been painted since the 80s. He answered the door in a stained undershirt, eyes bloodshot, smelling like last night's whiskey. "What do you want?" "Danny Vance, Detective Burke, Detective Hartley, we need to ask you some questions." "About what?" "Megan Collins." Something flickered in his face. Fear, maybe, or recognition. "Don't know any Megan." "That's interesting," I said, "because we have a witness who saw you arguing with her a week before she was killed." Danny's jaw tightened. "Witness is lying. Want to come down to the station and tell us about it." For a moment, I thought he'd run. His eyes darted past us toward the alley, calculating distances, then his shoulders slumped. "Fine, whatever." In the interview room, Danny was defensive, sullen, and not particularly smart. He denied knowing Megan at first, then admitted they'd talked once or twice, then finally acknowledged the argument when we pressed. "She owed me money," he said. "I sold her something, nothing illegal, just stuff. She said she'd pay me back, but she never did." "What kind of stuff?" "Electronics, old computers, parts, that kind of thing. She was always looking for tech shit." "And you argued about this a week before she died?" "I was trying to get my money, that's all." Danny's voice cracked. "I didn't kill her, I'm not." He stopped, breathing hard. "I didn't do it. Where were you the night she was killed?" "Home, sleeping, I don't have." He stopped. "I live alone, nobody can prove I was there." Burke leaned forward. "That's not a good answer, Danny. It's the truth." We didn't have enough to hold him, not yet. But the next day, things escalated. Rays found the knife. It was in a dumpster behind the cannery, wrapped in a plastic bag, covered in what the lab later confirmed was human blood. The blade was 6 inches long, serrated edge, consistent with Megan Collins's wounds. And 3 hours after that, another witness came forward. A woman named Claire Mendez who lived near Danny's place. She said she'd seen him coming home late the night of the murder, clothes wet, looking freaked out. "This is coming together fast," Burke said that evening. We were in the conference room, staring at the evidence board that now had Danny Vance's photo at the center. "Too fast." Burke looked at me. "You think it's not real?" I think a week ago we had nothing, and now we have a weapon, 2 witnesses, and a suspect with no alibi. I shook my head. That doesn't happen. It does happen. Cases break. Witnesses come forward when they see we're serious. Or someone's making it happen. Burke was quiet for a moment. You think Danny's being framed? I don't know. I stared at Danny's photo, the bloodshot eyes, the rough face, the lifetime of bad choices written in every line. He fits. He's got a record, he's got a connection to the victim, he's got no way to prove his innocence. But, it's too easy. I turned to face Burke. Everything about this case has been hard. Walls at every turn, dead ends everywhere. And suddenly it's easy. A knife in a dumpster, 2 witnesses out of nowhere. Burke didn't answer. He just stared at the board, his face unreadable. The evidence said Danny Vance was our guy. My gut said something else entirely.